What is up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr Wargames, bringing you, as you can see, ZOODIAC KAIJU build. So, yeah, ZOODIACs are the hyped up, one card, rank 4 XYZ deck that is expected to take over the meta here in the TCG, and they already have in the OCG. I mean, I think it came out that most recently there is about a triangle of OCG ZOODIAC cards. There's pure ZOODIAC with KAIJUs and ZOODIAC with Dracos, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's kind of what's making up the meta. Now, obviously, the OCG do have the new cards from Maximum Crisis, which make this deck a hell of a lot better. However, this is just for TCG, so this is what you can expect to be seeing in the upcoming meta. And as I can say, this card, and even these cards are pains in the arse to deal with. So, without further ado, I'm going to crack straight into this. Now, unfortunately, this is not a budget deck. As much as we would like it to be a budget deck, the cards in here, thanks to Konami, the main card you need of Dryden, or Dragon as it should be called, and Broad Ball, or just Ball as it again should be called, and then MX Saber Invoker if you're playing a Terratop engine, and Barrage are all secrets from Raging Tempest, so they're all quite expensive. Anyway, let's crack straight into this. So straight away you play 3 ZOODIAC Rapier. Now, from what I've seen through pulls, sometimes you can pull 3 to 4 of this in a box. Sometimes you can only pull 1. So I don't know how hard it's going to be to get hold of. At the moment, they're probably at sneak peek prices of about £2.50. So I would say grab them while you can, just so you've got them, because this is the broken card of the deck. So, Rapier. When it is normal summoned, you Foolish Burial 1 ZOODIAC card from your deck to the graveyard. Once per turn. So, this is where ZOODIACs come into. So, an XYZ monster whose original type is Beast Warrior and has this card as an XYZ material gains this effect. Once per turn, you detach 1 material from this card, special summon 1 ZOODIAC Rapier from your hand or deck. So, this card is amazing. You literally just... I'll get towards the end and I'll show you sort of some standard combos with it. But you literally just have 1 Rapier, go overlay on top 1 of your XYZs, overlay another one, detach that XYZ, special summon a Rat, overlay on Rapier again, detach, special summon another Rapier, and you've got another rank 4 on board. Next up, I play triple ZOODIAC Whiptail. This card is... It can attach itself during either player's turn from field or hand to your monster, gives it 1200 attack, and an XYZ monster with this card, when it battles, is banished. So even if your opponent destroys the XYZ that this is attached to, it will still banish your opponent's monster. It's really, really good. So basically, if this card battles an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, banish that opponent's monsters. Only as it's attached as an XYZ material. Its main monster effect is the fact that it can attach to an XYZ. ZOODIAC XYZ. Nope, 1 Beast Warrior XYZ you control, attach this card to it. So that's why you play Tiger King. Next up, I play 2 Four Blade. You can play this at 3 if you want, but this is probably the least of the ZOODIAC that you want to be seeing. You basically, when you normal or special summon this card, you send 1 ZOODIAC card from your hand to the graveyard, draw 1 card, and then its XYZ effect is if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Straightforward on that. We then play the standard Terratop engine. Oh, take the camera out. Now, I did used to have Tuck and Tumble at 2, and I think I prefer it that way, because then if I do draw into Tuck and Tumble, I've still got to search with Terratop, and it makes the rest of my Terratops live. I do run 2 targets for it in the extra deck. I run MX Saber Invoker, which is the main reason you use this, and then Totem Bird, if you want to be a bit more defensive. But yeah, standard Terratop engine. Like I said, if you like bumping Tuck and Tumble up, by all means do so. And then finally, I play 1 Coach, Captain, Bearman. Now, with Coach, Captain, Bearman, the way this works in a very good combo if you go first is you, without using your normal summon, you can then get this guy searched. You can then normal summon this guy without tributing, but its attack becomes 1300. You then turn your other 2 Rapiers on the field that you've XYZ'd into level 8s and overlay into Coach King Giant Trainer, which then lets you detach, I'm getting all my words mixed up here, detach 3 XYZ material, draw 3 cards, and burn your opponent for 800 per monster that you've drawn. So he's a very nice turn 1 card. Yes, he can be a bit cack going later games, but later games you can play Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy as well. Next up, I play a standard Kaiju ending. So we play 1 Thunder King, 1 Jizukuru, 1 Dorgorman, and 1 Gamma-Seal. Now, the idea is you can change Dorgorman out if you want to for a lower attack, because you play Kaiju Slumber in this. Obviously, any deck, the way that I see it in this day and age, in this meta, any deck that can play Kaijus and main them, I think gives them an advantage already. For the pure fact that Kaijus are sometimes a side engine. However, when you can main them, it gives you that upper hand in the first game. So the idea is you Kaiju Slumber, give your opponent one of these 2 cards and give yourself one of those 2 cards. By playing 4 different ones, you have more of a way to use Kaiju Slumber. Now, like I said, you could probably take Dorgormu out if you wanted to and go for like the Spider, just so your opponent has another weaker card. But ideally, you don't want to have both these cards in hand at the same time and then activate Kaiju Slumber. But either way, there is an OTK where you activate Kaiju Slumber, give your opponent the Gamma-Seal, you give yourself one of these 3 cards, ideally the 3300 ones, and then you can beat the game. So that's it for the monsters. Quite standard for the ZOODIAC engine, quite standard for the Teratop engine, and quite standard for the Gamma-Seal engine. Now you can, if you don't want to play rank 8s in your extra deck, you can get rid of Coach, Captain, Bearman. This is just a preference in one of the decks. I quite like Giant Trainer when I go first, and the fact that I have Bearman at 1, I'm not really that desperate on him. If I can search him with Broad Ball after that if I'm not too fussed. Now, as you can do Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy, like I said before, to go first, but then you would be leaving your giant, your bear, just open. Anyway, onto the spells. So you play 3 Barrage. Now, this is the expensive card of the deck. This is the card that kind of like helps it and speeds it up and makes it better, makes it easier to pull off the Bearman Coach Trainer plays. So basically, you can target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon 1 Zodiac monster from your deck. You can only use this effect of Zodiac Barrage once per turn. Once per turn, if this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Zodiac XYZ monster you control, attach this card from your graveyard to that card as XYZ material. So, if you have a rat, perfect, you can normal summon the rat, barrage, target itself, pop itself, attach to the rat after obviously you XYZ first, and then special summon out your rat. But 9 times out of 10, you're basically just going to open up with a barrage, keep your normal summon, barrage, target itself, special summon a rat, leave it engraved. That's fine. The attach is kind of secondary. Next up, we play triple interactive Kaiju Slumber. You can drop this down if you want to. Now, obviously, you only have the ability to resolve this twice, and that's if you don't draw any Kaijus at all. So dropping it down 1 is doable, but then you see it less often, and you kind of want to see it, especially if we're going second, just to clear the board and go for an OTK. Next up, triple fire formation Tenki. Very straightforward on this one. Just your searcher of the day. If you need to get a rat, you search it. If you need to get your Viper, you search it. Straightforward on that. Double instant fusion, because you play Emerald, so you have a way to recycle your Norden, but it's not enough to have 3 of. Like, you can put 3 in if you want to, not an issue against that. If you're going to put 3, I'd probably try and find maybe some other instant fusion targets. Now, I did say today, now I'm not recommending this as highly recommending it or anything, but with the new fusion target, Sea Monster of Thessalios, now obviously all your monsters are level 4s, unless you're using obviously Speedroids and whatnot. Now Barrier does hurt this deck, it stops it doing quite a bit. However, if you have an instant fusion and you target, I mean the extra deck is really tight as it is, so this is real outside of the box kind of stuff. If you put a level 9 Vermilion Dragon in, or if you put a level 8 Synchro in, any Synchro you want, so like Omega if you wanted to, you could then use instant fusion, so you've got another target for your instant fusion. You can then combine it with Teratop or Tuckenborg, or one of your level 4s to get you Vermilion Dragon. Just so if your opponent does hit you with a barrel, which 9 times out of 10, if you're playing at a high level competitive game with this deck, they will be doing that. You have an alternative. So you're not just sitting on, you know, like an XYZ Zodiac card, then you're just trying to have to beef it up and it can't do anything. Because when Barrier is activated and it calls XYZs, all of the XYZs return to 0 and they have no effects whatsoever, so they are wide open. Next up, I play double Tensu. Now, you can play this at 3. If you play this at 3, the only reason you would play it at 3 is because you want to be pulling off your coach trainer and giant trainer first turn. It's the only reason, because sometimes you do have to use your normal summon if you don't open a barrage, but if you get into a Tensu, you can use your extra normal summon to help you out there. I like playing a combo of 1 Twin Twister, 1 MST. Now, the reason I do this is, obviously, Twin Twister is really good, and Zodiacs don't really have their own form of back row hate, apart from Drancia, or Dryden, as it's now called, which can only pop up face-up cards. So sometimes you want to clear the board before your opponent strikes you or anything like that. So that's why you've got Twin Twister to do multiple ones. Now, the reason I've got 1 MST in here is because I always have this fear, and it has worked out for me in the past, top decking a Twin Twister without anything to discard or something that I don't want to discard, and I'm being locked out. So I quite like the option of being able to top deck an MST to clear it without having to worry about anything. Now, you can put 2 Twin Twisters, that's absolutely fine. I just kind of like this ratio. So that's it for the spells. Now onto the traps. Now, I play triple dimensional barrier. You can drop this down to 2 if you want and side in the third, absolutely fine. But in this day and age, and in this meta at this moment in time, when you're playing decks that have to get one off, so I mean, in the mirror match, or in any deck you're facing this XYZ, it kind of sucks, because you call it and you lose all your effects, because you are XYZ based. So this is only really good against like DDVs, ABCs, and Metaphors, but even Metaphors can kind of find their way around it, and so can DDDs. Not to the best or fullest extent, but barrier still hurts. And the best thing is, like, your opponent can't MST these or Twin Twist them or clear them unless it's during the end phase that you've set this card, because otherwise you just chain it and lock them out of the board. Now, I like playing Rafflesia in this deck to be a bit more first turn defensive if I can't get Giant Trainer out. So I play 2 Floodgate Trap Holes. Now, this helps out massively in the mirror, for the pure fact that once they XYZ summon a card, you flip it face down, that's it. They can't overlay on top of it or anything like that. Bottomless does work with this deck as well against Zodiacs, because when they're successfully summoned, they gain the attack boost. But 9 times out of 10, the combo is with Ratvia, so their attack's going to be 0. Now, I would like to, I'm still tweaking with this deck, this isn't fully set in stone, but I would like to add maybe more Rafflesia targets, like a Time Space Trap Hole, or just another form of trap hole in this deck, so it has a bit more options, maybe even bump this up to 3. But this engine can easily be taken out. It's just an optional choice, because I like being defensive with Rafflesia, whereas when you look at the other cards it has available, it can't be as defensive if you can't pull off your coach trainer play. Next up, Double Strike, because it's such a good card in this game. You can play it 3 if you want, but I think 2 is enough because it's too cloggy for me. And then the 1 warning, because I prefer this kind of lineup than anything more so. Now, Vanities, I'm not 100% sure of in this deck. Now, the reason I say I'm not 100% sure of in this deck is because pretty much every time you want to be special summoning as a Zoodiac player, it's very rare that you're not special summoning. But for that odd chance that you go first and draw into this, especially off a coach trainer, you set up your board, you lock your opponent out, you still have Dryden that can pop a card. So yeah, I'll show you, like I said, when I get to the end, I'll show you kind of like the end board you want to be finishing with your XYZs. So, XYZ time. You play pretty much 2 of all Zodiacs that are out at the moment. So 2 Dryden, 2 Dragon. Basically, this card, detach 1 and pop during either player's turn a face-up card. Broad Ball. This card, you play 2 of this, detach, search any Beast Warrior type monster from your deck and add it to your hand. 2 Bow. Now, this card is basically used as fodder at the moment. The main reason you use this is because you go Broad Bow, then usually Tiger Mortar or Bull, and then the other one, and then into Dragon Drancer. But his main effect is that it can attack directly, and if you have 12 materials, I believe, let me just read it a little bit closer. This card can attack your opponent directly. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent while it has 12 or more XYZ materials, never going to have that much in this, like, in a proper competitive game. By the time it's had 12 materials, you've kind of won the game. You can send as many cards as possible from your opponent's hand and field to the graveyard, then change this card to defense position. So for this card to have 12 materials, I mean, you've literally, it would have taken at least 2 turns, because I mean you'd have to make Broad Ball pop properly with 2 XZs, then Broad Bull, then, I don't know, Tiger, Drancia, Boar, and you're sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. And then that would have to survive without detaching anything. And then you're going, like, what? So it's on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then add 2 Vipers to it. So it's very, very unlikely you're ever going to get to that effect. Anyway, so that's that. Now we go on to your fourth and final Zodiac card that you play, and that is Zodiac Tiger Mortar. Now this card's also very, very nice. I like it quite a bit. I like it a lot, I do. So basically Tiger Mortar, actually I should tell you the requirements. So obviously Zodiacs, you can literally just pop one Zodiac down and then overlay on top. But to make these properly and naturally, Tiger Mortar is 3 level 4s, Royal Bow is 5 level 4s, Boar Bow is 5 level 4s, Broad Bull is 2 level 4s, so he's the easiest and most generic to make, and Dryden or Dragon is 4 level 4s. So they can only be overlaid on top, like, or just one Zodiac like this, once per turn. But you can make them naturally. So sometimes you can make a Broad Bull by overlaying on top of a Zodiac, and then you can put 2 level 4s together and go into a Broad Bull. That's completely fine. Anyway, Tiger Mortar, you target 1 XZs you control, and then you get to attach a material from graveyard to that target. So you can also add materials back to your other XYZs if you want to. So its wording is, once per turn you detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 XYZ monster you control and 1 Zodiac monster in your graveyard. Attach that Zodiac monster to your XYZ as material. So it can attach to any XYZ you want. So you can add it to Coach Trainer if you want to, if you want that extra draw. But remember, with Coach Trainer, you have to skip your battle phase the turn you activate it. But MX Saber Invoker, the Gusto Emerald, and obviously all these other ones that we're about to go through now. So, speaking of which, Gusto Emerald. You put so much in the grave. I mean, you've just seen how much you can take to overlay on top of these, and you're going to be detaching these and chucking them in the grave and so on. You need Emerald to recycle it. There's no other way. I mean, you could use the trap card, but Emerald also, there's a nice combo where you get Emerald on board, shuffle back your 3 Rapier, and then you can go again next turn with your Rapier, so you just keep going and keep going and keep going. Some people play this at 2. You can absolutely play this at 2, not an issue. My extra deck is quite tight, but like I said, if you take out the Reflesia engine, if you take out the Terratop engine, which I don't advise right now, like before it gets banned, use it as best as possible. You can bump Emerald up to 2, but like I said, this is quite tight at the moment as it is. The 1 Castel, for those times when it does get really, really, really sticky. Now, alternative to Castel, if you want to, is Diamond Direwolf. You can put this guy in as well, because they're all Beast Warrior types. So, I mean, if you get left with a Broad Bull and it's just dead on the board, you can't add anything to it, you can't do anything to it, you can go Diamond Dire, pop it, and pop another card, so you've got a 2 for 1. But that I haven't got it mained in at the moment in time. Next up, Traptrix Reflesia. You're playing the cards. I love the artwork, absolutely amazing. And it's a nice one to go defensive first turn if you absolutely have to. I just don't like the ability of leaving 2 Rapiers on board, and to be honest, most of my other level 4 XYZs, you can end the board with a Dryden, a Dragon on board, and then a Reflesia. So to end the board like that, I think it's quite a nice way to start defensively if you go first. Next up, your Brotherhood of the Five-Fist Tiger King. Very, very good card. As soon as this card hits the board, you get a Tensu or a Tenki out to get whatever you need. And then for your level 3, I've only got the 1 MX Saber Invoker. Again, as an alternative, you can play Totem Bird if you want. Now, I do recommend if you put both in, that you probably want to bump up your Terratop engine just by adding in that 1 more Tuckenton Borg, just to give you more alternatives. And then finally, we've got the Coach King Giant Trainer. So basically, this card, you detach 1 XZ from this card, draw 1 card and reveal it. Then if it was a monster, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. You can only use this effect of Coach King Giant Trainer up to twice per turn. Well, I couldn't say 3 times per turn, or, you know, it had to be twice. Let's try and be a bit more posh about it. Anyway, so Giant Trainer lets you use its effect 3 times. So you detach 3, you draw 3. Very, very nice draw card in this deck. And then you get to burn your opponent. So you could burn your opponent 2400 before they've even had a go, which is very, very nice. And then our last one is Elder Entity Norden. Now, I will like to mention number F0 Utopic Future just in this one. Now, the reason it's not in here is because I very, 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 very rarely used it in testing. However, there are some times when I'm like, do you know what would really, really be nice in here? It'd be nice to put my dead broadball and bow together, or my dead Rafflesia and my Emerald, or Castell and my Rafflesia, like any of the mixtures. But it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't as used as many of these. So basically the way I've narrowed down my extra deck in this kind of build is just ones that I've used most of. Now again, I will be updating this, I will be tweaking with it, there will be changes. But that is it for now. So, that is it for the ZOODIAC deck profile for you guys. Very, very straightforward, very, very simple. It's been out, all I've been doing is been able to test. That's kind of how I've been able to do it. So I haven't had a chance to fully, rigorously test this, which I will do this weekend. So, let's try and show you a couple of standard, straightforward combos. Now, bear with me because I usually just work it with test hands, so you just have to bear with us. There are a couple of 2-card combos. There are a lot of just standard combos as well. So, where are you, Barrage? I bet you're hiding somewhere. There we go, Barrage. Okay. So, now I've kind of built this deck to be able to go first. I mean, I was talking to other players that have built this deck, and they talk about how they prefer to go second. Now, of course, quite a few decks prefer to go first or second or whatever. Sometimes your opponent will not be giving you that option. They will be making you go first. So, what is the best board you can get when you go first? Like I said, there are very, very few good boards that you can start off with. So, straight away, don't worry about the attaching effect of this. Just activate it. Just activate it straight up. Target itself, pop itself. Now, Ghost Ogre, from what I've been told, can stop this. You drop a Ghost Ogre on this card, it pops it fizzles out. So you won't get special summon. But anyway, you activate Barrage, you pop Barrage, you special summon out your Rapier. Now, Rapier effect doesn't go off because it's only for normal summons. So that is in the grave. You then use Boar as just your fodder. That's literally all you do. You use it as your fodder. You then go over into Tiger Mortar. You detach Boar. You bring out your next Rapier. You then overlay it on top into your Broad Ball. Detach. Special summon out your next Rat. Come on. Where are you? Typical, right at the top. So you special summon out your second Rat. Now, because you use Barrage, this is one card you haven't normal summoned. You detach your last material of your Broad Ball using his own effect to search. Search out your Giant Trainer, your Coach Captain. You normal summon your Coach Captain. You turn Ratviers into level 8s. You overlay your Ratviers into level... let me shuffle this up. And then cut, I suppose. You then shuffle those up. Go into your Coach King. And then you draw 3 off Coach King's effect. Use all 3 at once, if your opponent will allow you. Use all 3 and draw 3. 1, 2, 3. So I've just burnt my opponent for 1600. Yeah, and then you can activate Tenki to search out a Viper, just so you've got an extra material for Broad Ball. But before you end your turn, you go Dryden. Now, I would probably say if you search out your Viper, you could put him in attack position just to stop your opponent if you have to, or at the moment with no materials, you're probably safer putting him in defense. So there, you've ended your board, you've dealt your opponent 1600 damage already, and they haven't even done anything, and you're sitting there with 2 Terratops in hand. So, obviously not ideal with the Terratops, but still, you know, quite a nice standard combo of going first, and that's your end board there. Now, obviously you do have the option for, like I said, Titanic, or you could have gone into Rafflesia if you wanted to be more defensive. That route, however, that's just kind of how it's gone. So let's do a standard combo. Go in. What should we go with? Do a bit of damage. Yeah, let's do a combo that gets you 9,000 attack, shall we? So, now you're going to have to bear with us this one, because this one will take some keeping up to do. So, you normal Rapier. Rapier's effect as a Foolish Burial to send your Furrow Blade to graveyard. XYZ summon onto Broadball. Or Ball. I'm just going to call it Ball because I'm going to keep getting it mixed up. You then activate. So this is on the hopes that you have your barrage. You activate your barrage, you pop your own barrage, and you search yourself out. Special summon a Viper off of your barrage. Your barrage then attaches to the Broadbow. You then detach from your boar and you special summon your Rapier. You then overlay boar into bull. Oh, sorry. Again, detach double while you're at it. So you detach one to special summon your Rapier. You detach the other one to search out another Viper and add that to your hand. Now remember, with the Vipers, you can attack with your Vipers and then attach them as Xyz material and attack again, which is very, very nice. So, you've now got 2 Vipers in hand. So, while we're at it, we want more damage. So, you go into Tiger. Tiger detaches Bull. Bull adds... detach Bull, add Furrow Blade. So, now your Tiger Mortar is on to 1,600 attack. Then overlay into Dryden, just because. Detach 1. I've already used on normal summon just to pop. Your opponent probably has a face-up monster. If not, you know, we're going to detach just in case they have. Then overlay these bad boys into your Tiger King. Use your Tiger King's effect on summon to search out your Tensu. Activate your Tensu. Normal summon for your second extra normal summon your Whiptail. And then you go, whatever your opponent's got, you'd probably go 12, 12. As long as you attack with these first before you attack with Dryden, or Tiger King, you're okay. So attack, attack, effect to add to Dryden. Your Dryden now goes up to, what's that, 24, that's 4k, 4,100, attack in there, and then 2,300, you're attacking there. Bang, 9,000 damage. So, I will do one more final combo just for you guys to kind of see how it is, because we're hitting up to the half-an-hour mark. This one will be 9,700 attack if I do it right. So, Terratop, special Terratop, effective Terratop, search out your Tuckatongborg. Where are you, Tuckatongborg? So it's Tuckatongborg, special Tuckatongborg. Now just bear in mind that the only issue with ZOODIAC is you've got to remember that you have or haven't normal summoned. So into Invoker, detach Invoker, special summon, obviously in defense mode unfortunately, your 4-blade. Now this is to hope you've got the rat in hand. Where are you? So normal summon your Rapier. Send your second 4-blade to the graveyard. Where are you? Send your second one to your graveyard. So your graveyard's just over there, out of shot. Let's zoom out a little bit more so you can see that. You're going to see the madness around the deck. Where were we? Right, so we sent that to graveyard. You then overlay these two into the only one you can naturally overlay with 2 XYZ monsters, and that is your Broad Ball. Now you've naturally summoned him, so he's absolutely fine. So, if we leave him as that and we've got a bit more fodder, go onto your ball, detach your ball, and special summon your rat. Let me just double check something. No, cool. So Broad Ball's effect to add is not once per turn, so I could have added in that one. In fact, in that previous one I would have added. So on that previous one, actually no, we want to keep the rats. So yeah, we leave it at that. Then you overlay your second ball. Stop creaking, chair. There was two guys. Overlay your second ball, because obviously you haven't normally one card extra overlaid this one. So you're good with that. Detach the ball so you're not losing any attack. Add a Viper to hand. There's the Viper, Whiptail. Also it's normal, now detach your final rat to special summon out your final rat. So your board is now looking like this. You then overlay these two into your Tiger. Tiger gets you your magical Tensu. Normal summon your Whiptail. Go into your Tiger Mortar so you don't lose any more XZs, and then go into Dryden. You now have a detach of Dryden, so he's obviously at 16. To pop a card. Oh, hang on, sorry, I've done something wrong. Yeah, that's it, sorry. On your Tiger, you detach Bull to re-equip your Fire Blade that you sent earlier with Rapia. You then go into Dryden. Your Dryden then detaches your Tiger and pops a card, and he is on 32. 33 with Tensu. You've got your Whiptail there, so you literally go attack for 13, attack for 16, attack for, let's go with this guy, attack for 23, and then attach Whiptail to this guy. He's now on 32, 33, 45. Dryden there attacks for 45, and that is 9,700 damage. So, a big shout out to Road of the King for that. So these are their combos, guys. You can pick them up on their website. They're very, very straightforward. You kind of naturally learn to get them going as you go with the deck. So definitely test them online. Now, unfortunately, like I've said before, as if it wasn't bad enough that Emerald's going up in price. Tridents are also expensive now. They've just come out. So are Broad Balls. And so is MX Saber Invoker. So to pull off most of those effects and most of those combos, you are going to need those cards. So hopefully, I'm hoping you guys had them beforehand. Otherwise, you will have to splash the cash. But unless he gets hit with an emergency ban list, this is the deck to beat this year. Especially with Maximum Crisis, making them even better for one-turn FTKs and just crazy, crazy amounts of plays that this deck can do. Now, I will quickly say before I go, cards that hurt this deck, Maxi, because they're going to want to special summon a hell of a lot. They can, obviously, if they're threatened by Maxi, they can just stick with a Trident for the pop, because that is their end card. Ghost Ogre is very, very good against this deck. So is Dimensional Barrier, obviously. So, sorry it took so long, guys. I hope the combos kind of helped you guys out, kind of got you an idea of how to play this deck. I will be doing some test outs just so you can see how consistent this deck is. And that will hopefully be out Friday. We will have a rate box opening coming out tomorrow, so don't forget to catch that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Give us a big thumbs up on the video, guys, if you want to see more deck profiles like this. Any updates on Zodiacs, I will try and tweak it for you and get these up here. I am open to constructive criticism or constructive advice from you guys, because I do want to improve this deck the best I can. There is like Zodiac Toads. There are, like I said before, there are many Zodiac builds, and it is going to be the new meta, I'm afraid. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Big thumbs up to the video. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time. But happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.